Welcome, dogs. Get your goggles, get your tightest lycra tri-suit, put on those compression socks. Why be good at one sport if you can be shit at three? This is the Triathlon Mockery podcast. Yes, my dogs, it's Tommy and I am a flippin' Ironman. That's right, baby. IRONMAN Lanzarote in the bank. We're going to be talking in depth about that in a minute. Jody, Sammorin man. Sammorin. He finished.
I'm a challenge man.
He's a challenge man. He finished a challenge half distance. He's half a challenge man.
Yeah.
But, how's it going, mate?
It's got to be up there. My best achievement yet. I just want to say thank you to all my family, my friends, all my coaches, everyone that's been by my side for the last 12 months. Like, I couldn't have done it without
What about the sponsors? Thank the sponsors.
Sponsors, yeah. Thanks to all them.
The Patreons.
Thanks to AG1 for keeping me healthy, keeping the liver going. Even though it tastes fucking rank, you know, I wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have been where I am if it weren't for you.
You wouldn't have had such a trained gut if you didn't use that stuff.
Oh, yeah, I know. If you can cope with AG1, you can cope with 10 gels in one go. No problemo. Like, that's the thing with AG1. It's not about the health. It's just like, if you can stomach the taste of this and your guts won't shit yourself on the run, you can take any sports nutrition products. Trust me, easy peasy. You could have cod and chips on the run and you'd be fine.
What if you would be able to drink AG1, but you do get tummy issues after 2 gels?
It's just not possible. Like, if you can cope with AG1, you can cope with 2 gels. It's just like that. You know, they're just they're mutually exclusive, mate. You can't cope with AG1 and then not cope with gels.
What was the week, mate? Highs and lows. Before we get to the race recap.
What? So since the race?
Yeah.
Since the race, mate, my swim's come on like. Definitely massively. I was out when I was out in Sammorin. I was getting some technique pointers off Billy, who's been helping me with it. And now the last couple of days, I think I've knocked like 2 seconds or 3 seconds. 2 seconds, I'd say, maybe even 3 seconds, 100 off.
Yeah.
Just from like changing my technique. So that's been a massive.
You can literally envision the paddle border in front of you.
Oh, mate, like, could you imagine? I think he'll still be
the canoe, the front pack canoe. You can see it.
But I feel like I've had a massive breakthrough because you can't gain something like that from fitness, can you?
No.
So it has to be like the technique, and I've really been thinking about changing the technique, and it feels so much better.
What I don't get is every flippin' pro triathlete, well, especially the ones with a YouTube channel, like us, are going to the wind tunnel and velodrome and testing here and flipping there. They're testing every fart. But then when it comes to the swim, they're always doing like swimming 25 to 30 Ks a week, but they're never doing a real swim analysis.
Yeah, I know. I guess it's just harder, isn't it?
I told you to do one before, but you're always with Techno and the pensioner, going to the Delta Lloyd, smashing it in the pool, then onto the sauna, feeling fucked.
I've done video analysis, mate, with my stroke. I've gone down to bloody Felixstowe, like... and seen this smooth person.
When was that? 2016 or something? When was it?
When was it? For probably 20. I don't know, maybe 18. It was before COVID.
It was even before I was into triathlon. Like, it's the last time.
It was when you were probably contemplating entering Barcelona 70.3. It was probably around that time.
I can tell you one thing. Your swim isn't like a passport, something you look at one every 10 years and you need to renew because the passport picture is overdue, you know? It's, you need me as another proven 56-minute swimmer, you know, it's not the 54, knows what it takes to get that swim down and have a little look at what it looks, you know.
But I've had some video analysis done. He videoed me. I got the critique. I've taken it on board, and I think I might have done something. The good thing is, I will have a chance to see whether or not this has worked in 3 weeks' time. Wetsuit swim, sea swim, mate. Will I break the 54-minute barrier? That's the golden mark, isn't it?
That is the golden mark. But so that's the high, the breakthrough swim.
Yeah, well, that's got to be a massive high for me.
Yeah.
What else did I do? I haven't really done much, to be honest. Just like training and stuff. It was Laura's dad's birthday. Went to that yesterday. 70, mate. Bloody hell! Like, our parents are getting on, aren't they?
Mate, as long as your parents are fit and healthy, and try and get as much quality time with them in as you can. It's a privilege.
How old are your parents?
My mom is 64,
And
and
she's still smashing it on the mountain bike, from what I see.
she is smashing it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, she is smashing it. She's 62, by the way, and
You said she's 64.
yeah, but she's 62.
All
But
right.
she feels like she says she feels like she's 35. So she's
Bloody hell,
actually
she feels like she's younger than me.
no, but
I
she
don't feel quite. I don't feel quite as bad as the guy that does the podcast with you, but almost as bad as him.
But yeah, yeah, I know. She rides the mountain bike in Spain like multiple times a week, and she's got like this e-bike. So I could do a nice little session with her, and she could show me around. It was flipping awesome.
Living the dream, mate. Living the dream. You've been on holiday since Lanzarote, haven't you? Better never. I thought better never stops, mate. So when's the next race then for you?
Um, well, before we're getting into the next race, my highs and lows. My high was definitely after the race. I took like 5 days, 6 days completely off. Well, I did one mountain bike ride, 2.5 hours, but literally nothing. Just good food, nice wines, a lot of sleep, sitting by the pool, getting a nice little tan. Well, I didn't get any. Uh,
Hengelo, Tom.
Flip Hengelo. I thought about Hengelo during Lanzarote. I thought about the Hengelo.
What was more lonely, riding up the mountains by yourself or living in Hengelo? What was the hardest experience? If someone said to you, Tom, you've got a choice to make. You've got to do either Ironman Lanzarote again tomorrow, as you are now, how you feel,
Without
or
nutrition.
or no, you can have nutrition. You've just got to do it. It's boiling hot. You've got to do it by yourself. You're not going to be in a race, so it's even more demoralising. Or you've got to live for 6 weeks in Hengelo, and you can do whatever you want, but you've just got to live in Hengelo.
But 6 weeks live in Hengelo, but also feel the way I felt back then, the same energy.
Well, you would feel the same because you'd get into your routine after a week. I would have said a week. You could easily flag it, but 3 weeks down the line, you're going to start feeling the same as what you did in
Yeah, but
Hengelo.
6 weeks. No, I would rather do Ironman Lanzarote 7 days for 7 days straight. So like some sort of Iron Cowboy, and all of them sub 10, rather than 6 weeks Hengelo. Well,
Thinking of your place in Hengelo, there it was so practical, wasn't it? Because you even had a shower in your kitchen. It was like you could literally get out, you could literally do everything there, couldn't you? You can cook you could literally flip a pancake while you're standing in the shower naked, couldn't you?
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
could like it was so practical. You must have saved so much time. You literally probably put some scrambled eggs on, jumped in the shower, got out, gave it a little stir, and it was all ready. Like I mean, like I've never seen anyone with a shower in their kitchen. It was like it was made for
It
convenient
was
living,
very
wasn't it?
practical, and it was something I needed at the time, and also something that place made me more human, Joe. But also the area, in Hengelo is flipping awesome for training, and it's actually a beautiful area. It was just that I was depressed at the time. All my friends
And it
were not
was
around.
raining all
It
the
was raining
time,
all the
wasn't
time.
it?
I was flipping lonely. No one was there, and I was just going through a very hard time. And yeah, I managed to crawl out of the deeps. How do they call it?
A deep depression.
No, not like I don't know, the gates from hell that were open, and I managed to escape. And it took me a flipping, I would say, at least till last January. Well, I got back into the swim of things in Amsterdam, but then training wise, it was all like off the loose. But then since January, I've been flipping getting back into it. And then Ironman Lanzarote for me was the cherry on the cake. But halfway through the race, I thought like, what went through my head is, we'll get to that in a bit. Like, I'm gonna stop the sport, delete everything, and
That's what you said halfway through. Is that what went through your head?
well, went through my head. I literally, yeah, 100%. Like this,
There's always bad patches, though, isn't there,
this
in an
wasn't a bad
Ironman?
patch,
Where you
mate.
think,
This was
"Fuck this, I'm not doing
how
this
do you
again."
call it if it's like a huge bad patch?
Yeah, but I've had that where I thought, "Fuck this, I'm gonna get another. I'm not even gonna do another triathlon. I'm done. I'm done." Like that's what I thought. I'm fucking done. I'm not doing another Ironman. Like I'm just gonna get a normal job, and then I'd be
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
and then like I might go through it, and I start feeling a bit better. And then a bit later, I'm like, nah, fuck it, Joe. Don't do another one. You don't need this in your life. Like,
You don't need to feel miserable every day.
don't need to feel fucking miserable. Like, why am I doing it? People say you only live once, make the most of it. Yeah, exactly. Why the fuck am I doing this to myself?
Yeah.
And then you start picking someone off, and you're like, oh well, he must feel worse than me. Actually, I feel all right now. This is all right.
I didn't even pick people up at that time. I was just literally riding through hell, lonely. But
that's the good thing about when you have a real bad swim, though, isn't it? There's always then people to pick off.
yeah,
Whereas if you have a good swim, you're fucked. There's no one. You're just getting picked off by more and more people,
Yeah.
or you just manage to hold your own.
yeah,
Whereas at least if you swim like shit, you can pick people off throughout the day.
yeah. That's true. But I didn't shit swim. I didn't. Yeah. So rather Ironman Lanzarote. Yeah. So highs. I've got my races planned for the upcoming weeks, and I'm flipping looking forward to it. We've got the podcast going again, and yeah, let's get started. So we start with the samuraiman of challenge, or with the Lanzarote.
Go on, we'll go for the Lanzarote because I think that was that was a bigger story.
All right. Now, Jody, this was my first Ironman, actually, apart from Mexico, where I wasn't prepared, like not at all, since Almere. And I thought, if I don't have a good race this day, then I might as well stop. You know, it's my last year, or well, if it's not going well, this is my last year. It's going to be my exit. I'm stopping the sports, and I'll be gone forever.
What was classed as a good race in your head then? So
well,
what was like
what I said in the podcast? If I would do a 56-minute swim, a 5:05 bike, and a 3-hour marathon, I would be I would be over the moon. If I would have 2 out of 3, I would be happy, and if I would have 1 out of 3, I would delete myself from the triathlon world. But being realistic, like I said before in the podcast, I've been training super consistent. I've been training hard, but not insane. You know, I think on average, it's all on Strava. It was around 15 hours for 16 weeks.
What did your coach say going into the race? Like, did he give you a pep talk or anything?
Mate, 0.
Did you want a pep talk?
I think in the end, I'm always my own coach. Yeah, I did think, but you gave me a little pep talk. No, nothing. So yeah, I didn't actually speak to him during the race week, which let me down, obviously, because you pay a lot of money, and yeah, it's true, right? I mean, that's what you pay for.
Yeah.
But yeah, race week, I was flipping nervous because I needed a good result. Race morning, so the gun went off, and there was a buoy literally 50 meters where you had to turn right, 90 degrees right.
I love a buoy really close.
Really?
Like, yeah, really, really close. Like, that's when I've had my best swims because I've gotten all right. I'm all right for 50 meters. Once it starts going over that, I start flagging.
Yeah, but this is
getting a good...
So you had 50 meters and then another buoy after 200 meters. So it's like a sharp right and then another sharp left after 200 meters. Yeah. It was flipping carnage. We were like with 40 something on the start. It was flipping carnage, mate. I got swam over, swam under. I was like, after 3 minutes, I almost died. I thought like I got water in my mouth and I thought, all right, another bad swim. Here we go. But then I saw a sneaky little group. I caught them up, sat in their feet. And whilst we were swimming, I could like look at my watch, what the pace was.
Really? You were watching you looked at your watch while you were swimming? Did you start your Garmin for the swim then?
I wanted to know what I was doing. So yeah, I was looking at the watch and I thought, all right, we're moving. So it was.
I've never done that before.
I don't think a lot of people do that. But so it's at 1.9.
What would you have done if the watch said you were swimming shit? Would you have just got to the front and started trying to drop them?
I don't know.
You'd have started dropping some watt bombs, mate, in the water.
But
fuck this! These guys are letting me down. I'm a 56-minute swimmer. These guys are stalling me. Like we're going to swim an hour here. I need to drop these guys.
No, but if it was really slow, then I would probably laugh to myself and said something. Oh, Tommy boy, you did it again, right? You always managed.
You thought you swam with Cam Worth, didn't you, in the race in Girona?
Yeah, and then it was a guy with a beard, and we swam an hour and 4 minutes or something. But they had the same shoot. So I messed stuff up in the past. But I saw some good times there, so I was getting cheeky here. And after a 1.9K swim, they had this Aussie exit. First time for me, Aussie exit. Flipping horrific. Like your heart rate gets through the 200 beats per minute barrier, and you just need to get in the water again, and you have a time to lose the pack that you're in, right?
Yeah, but I saw a video what your missus did of the Aussie exit, and you gave it a little look over your shoulder, didn't you, to see how many people what were behind you? Were you causing inflicting any damage on
Yeah.
the other swimmers? Like,
I was having a little look because just before we were exiting the swim, I had a little look on the watch again, and I saw we were swimming 27 minutes. So that's a 54-minute Ironman swimmer. So I was like, hell yeah, your boy's getting out of the water. But then we had to do another lap, and it slowed down a little bit. It slowed down to a pace that I thought was a bit too slow, but then you're like into a rhythm and you're thinking, I could go on.
I hate that.
You could go on the
I
front, but you're,
absolutely hate it.
yeah,
Because you go on the front and you can't add much to it,
exactly.
but you know, oh no, I'm losing so much time
Exactly.
because it shouldn't feel this easy in the swim.
Yeah.
And you know, if you feel that easy, like if I feel like I'm swimming that easy, you know that compared to the front guys who are smashing it on the front, they're going to be just putting so much time into you, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to feel like you're working on the feet. And then
Exactly. You're on a good spot,
right.
but it was too easy. But still, 56.5 minutes. So I'll take that. And when I was running into the transition, I could hear that the front pack was just gone. So Milan Bronze and all them. So it was something like 4 or 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. So it's not too bad. On the bike, the tactic was start off easy because it's a tough course and a lot of people blow up. And first 20 minutes, 30 minutes was actually maybe too easy. I rode it maybe a little bit too easy. But then towards the 70, 80K mark, I pushed a little bit. I think the first 2.5 hours I averaged normalized something like 285. So it wasn't even crazy, you know, just steady. But then slowly my lower back started to seize up. And I had this problem as well in the Netherlands. I told it in the podcast and it was my fear. And I still don't know what's causing it. Might be the new bike, the position, I don't know. But it started to get worse and worse. And then I had these flipping horrific climbs coming up. And my gearings were a bit too big doggish for me. So I was grinding. I had to get out of the pedals to get up the climbs. And it was like a 4K climb. That is not like my lower back was. I was literally riding past James Mitchell and I was saying, I'm too fat for this shit. I was literally, this was 2 hours to 110K mark. And then literally on top of the Mirador, my whole back seized up. So I couldn't even sit in the position anymore. And it also goes through the hip flexors, so it like doesn't enable you to push the power anymore. So my legs.
At this point, were you ahead of your Dutch rival, the Wild One?
I caught him by case 70, 80, and this was around the 110K mark, and I was still ahead of him. But I constantly was getting out of the aero position, like standing up and then moving my scrooge towards the steering wheel to like get a bit of movement, like I was dancing on the bike to get like that lower back fixed. But it wasn't helping any of that. So I had literally the whole long stretch, had to ride out of the aero position. So I was thinking after 120K, he came past me and I was thinking like, yeah, you need to go for another 60K out of the aero bars and you're going to lose a shitload of time. But I kept thinking what you were saying before the race, like you need to keep going. You need to keep going, not give in, because a lot of people fade in the race. So although I was still pushing power, not a lot, but 250, 255 out of the aero position, costed me a lot of time. But I wasn't losing as much time as what I would have thought. I think if I would have kept on going as I was in the beginning, I would have rode maybe 10 to 15 minutes quicker, which I would be able to do 10 minutes if I'm in good form. But made 130K mark. I said to myself, you're slower. You're like getting past left and right. What are you doing? You should start. You're not even age group worthy, and you still need to run a marathon. And everyone, there's a guy on a road bike passing me.
You were getting some abuse as well, didn't you, on one of the climbs?
Yeah, that was on the beginning on one of the climbs and towards the end of one of the climbs. Yeah. So a guy was literally. He was just shouting nasty shit. I didn't even know who the dude was. He was like a spectator, and he was literally just flipping, harassing me and cursing towards me that I was like, I don't know, just bad things. Which is a pretty weird experience, Joe. If you're doing an Ironman and you're having a pretty bad patch, and someone is personally abusing you
Well, normally you
verbally.
don't get personal abuse do you? Normally there's just like keyboard warriors that give you abuse. I find like
Yeah,
not. It's very rare that someone actually does it to your face, like on course.
yeah. You're a loser, and you're getting beaten by amateurs and women. And I was literally 110 k's in the race. I thought, like, I've got 70 k's to go. My whole back's fucked. I'm losing a shitload of time. First of all, this guy's right, and it gets to your head. And I did think at that point, I'm stopping the sports. I'm not worthy, and this is it.
I'm not worthy.
I'm not worthy.
Take my bike. Take my bike.
But yeah, I kept on going, kept pushing. In the end, I didn't lose as much. So I only lost 4 minutes to the wild one. So that's like 4 minutes in 70 k's.
And this was like a race within a race, wasn't it? Because the race was you could get a top 10 or a top 6 if you have a great day, try and get into money. But the second race was you and the wild one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was like the race within a race, wasn't it? It was like if you don't get in the top 10, the second race.
No, I
is
said top
just
15.
make
Top
sure-
15. That's what I said.
All right. If you don't get in the top 15, just
Yeah.
make sure you beat the wild one.
But then towards the end of the bike, so the last bit is all tailwind. Then I thought, all right, it's only downhill now. I'm almost there. Boom. Mind fuck. We had to do a turn right into the headwind, 4-6 force headwind, 10k out and back or 7k out and back stretch. It's like an extra section. Oh, that mentally got me as well. But then I saw Andy Dreitz and all them that were riding out of the aero bar. So they had a bit of a bad patch. That gave me a little bit of energy.
Then, you thought it's not just move a fuck back. Oh, look, Andy, is your back hurting as well?
But then I came into transition and I saw the wild one just got out of transition. So he was like 3 minutes ahead of me or something, 3-4. Quickly got changed, started running. But my whole back was seizing up. So I felt like I was going like a snail. My whole back hurting. But the legs felt fine, It was just in a world of shit. I wanted to lay down on the ground and stretch the back. But my first K I went through in 4:07, so I thought decent pace. So I'll just keep going. And after 15 Ks, the back pain was gone. So I kept going from 15 to 30. I was actually like cruising. And then from 32 till 42, it was a bit tough, but it was only 10 seconds a K slower, and I ran 3:02. And I wasn't pushing on the marathon because.
Did you junkyard dog him?
No, I didn't have the confidence.
Really?
Yeah, because I thought to myself, I'm ready to be sure to have a good result. So that's why I didn't really want to push the marathon, because if I cramp up after 20K or 30K, I'm still having a bad race. You know what I mean? So I thought, like, I need to get a good result. So I ran it steady. Heart rate was only 142 on the run. 142, 143.
You should have junkyard dogged him, mate. That would have really played with his head.
But so everyone that's listening and currently had a very, very long bad period of training or is going through a shit period or whatever, and someday you're able to turn it around. And if you have a little look again at my Strava, all the data is on there. On average, it's something like 14 or 15 hours of training for this race. And 56-minute swim with 3 swims a week, something like 9 to 10K. Sometimes it was 14K. 8 hours of cycling on the bike, 7 to 8, in most of it indoors. Very, very depressing.
Lionel Sanders style.
40 to 50 Ks of running a week for a 3-hour marathon. So you can get after it as well. You don't need 30 hours like Ditliff or 40 hours. And you don't need to be a world champion to feel good about your result. And it gave me...
But what could you do if you were doing 30 hours a week?
I don't reckon I could be much better. But I do think later this year, so in September, October, I can have a good result.
But what about if you just thought, fuck it, I'm going to go get fit or get fucked. I'm doing 25 to 30 hours a week. I'm going to
recover from that.
Smash it for 6 weeks, and I'm going to see
and
where
also,
I get to.
Right now, sometimes I'm going to a party, sometimes I'm going to a birthday party, sometimes I'm drinking a bottle of wine. I'm training hard.
Still drink a bottle of wine, aren't you? And do
I'm
30
lean,
hours
I'm
a week?
fit, I'm doing that. It's the balance for me. I don't think I can do the 25 hours. We did it in Font Vermeaux for 1 month, and after that month, I was like, shoot, Ironman done and season over. I wanted a holiday.
He needed a holiday to recover from the holiday.
Yeah. No, but I am very keen to keep on going like I'm going. Maybe I had 4 more hours a week of training, but then cycling. So I'm gonna ride something like 12 to 13 hours a week. Keep.
But when you were in New Zealand, you smashed it and we're doing 25
We
hours a
weren't
week
doing
then.
25 hours because I've been looking at the data from back then.
What were we doing then?
20,
20
80.
after a half Ironman, a week after a half Ironman.
Yeah, something like that.
Probably. It must have been more than 20
Yeah,
hours.
maybe 1 week, 20, 23, but it wasn't a shitload.
And it was only like 2 weeks between like the race. I remember doing, I thought it was quite a lot of training. And it was so intense.
It
Them
was
sprints
very
up them
intense.
hills.
It was very intense. Yeah.
Exactly.
But
I remember like when we were. This is when we were in Christchurch. It was back 2020. I was on a fucking gravel bike, which was a big mistake because I should never have taken that bike to ride with them guys. And we were riding with the group out there, and I remember going up the climbs, and I was on like they were on road bikes. They were decent guys, and I remember pushing 500 watts up all them climbs.
mate, it
My
got you
heart
fit.
felt like it was going
It
to
got you to
explode.
where you
Oh my
are.
god!
It was the prep for sub 7. And also,
No, that was the prep for Ironman New Zealand. The Ironman
yeah,
felt easy
but
compared to them rides. My heart felt like it was going to fucking explode. When I was in the Ironman, I was riding 320 watts. I was like, this is a piece of piss. I've literally just been like smashing myself for the last 2 weeks, every fucking ride.
over the
This feels like recovery.
if you look at your training volume, and also, for example, other top athletes like Bart Arnouts, I know he trains a bit like that. They don't train 25 to 30 hours a week. Maybe 25, around between 20 to 25, but it's more quality than quantity. You know, he runs, I think, something between 50 and 70 kilometer a week. So he told me, he told a couple of years.
Do you know what I said
And-
when we were on the run to Bevan in that Ironman New Zealand?
No?
Like, I felt so good running off the bike. I saw him at the start of the second lap. And I said, cash the check, cash the check. About 2 days later, I felt like shit. I thought, oh no, I'm going to look like such a prick, aren't I? If I'm just like shouting that. Because I was coming out of town, I was like shouting, oh, I've got this, get like cash the check, you know, like joking around. 2 days later, I felt like I was a bit like fucked. And I thought,
But that's
oh
why
no, I've spoken too soon.
that's why
We're
I
like
don't.
we're not even halfway in yet. And I feel like I'm on the limit now.
That's why in Lanzarote I didn't have the confidence to bark at people, because I was like, first you get a little good result, boy, and then you can bark again. And the beer mile after the race, I didn't even know people were going to show up, because I had one dude in my DM that said, sorry, man, can't make it. So last minute I said to Amy and to a friend of mine, yeah, I think we need to walk down there to see if people are coming. And then we were like 5 minutes late, and I had one guy, we're here, all the dogs are here, where are you at? And I arrived, and there were like 12 dudes arriving there with the cans, and something like 20 women, they were all cheering. They didn't want to compete again, but guess what? I sent my girlfriend into the shopping, into the grocery store, to get me 4 beers. 4 beers. And I said,
What did you also get her to do? Do your laundry and like the washing
no,
up
but
as well?
I because we were late, I told them,
You're such a gentleman, aren't you? If you're dating me, you can do me shopping, you can do me laundry,
no,
and you
I'm
can
always,
do.
I'm the one at home who shops and cooks. But I asked her, could you get me 4 beers from the store, because I quickly need to like tell the rules and how everything works. And then pick like 4 nice ones, four nice ones. What do you reckon she
What
came
did she
back
get
with?
you?
What do you reckon she came back with?
Something like probably Stella or something like that.
No, worse.
Worse,
Yeah,
cider.
no. 4
What was
half
it?
a liters of brown beer.
I would actually prefer that to Stella. It's not. It's harder to drink in the beer mile, but it tastes way better. Like, I've had some beers what are easy drinking, but they tasted rank. And that, what, when you say brown ones, how strong and what ones would I know
I don't
it?
even know. I told her, return. This is 4 half a liters. Like,
Yeah, I wouldn't want half a liter. Like,
yeah,
definitely not. I wouldn't want
it's
like
like a
330 mil. Like, I
shitload.
definitely don't want half a liter, because that's like, yeah, that's like pretty savage. So what did she come back with then?
Well, a guy over there gave me these nice fruity ones, but there was this beginner mistake. While we were walking over there, I had a sandwich and a Coke. I didn't even think about the beer mile, so my tummy was already full and fizzy. And then you had this way too eager Irish guy that was pretty good at drinking, and his legs were still pretty fit, and he wore carbon
The
shoes.
Irish guys are fucking awesome at it, mate.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah. So I got beaten, mate. I got beaten by minerals.
So you finished second.
Second to BMR.
So far, I've finished second 2 or 3 times. I can't remember. You've finished second once. Neither of us has
I
actually
did win. I
dusted
won
the.
the aquathlon beer mile back
Oh
when
yeah,
it
but that was a
started.
1v1.
When it started,
That was against Harry Cloud. That's no competition, is it?
no, it's true. That is no competition.
I want
But
about
that's
proper competition, mate. These age groupers could put him away any day on the
but that's
drinks,
where the
mate.
beer
I've
mile was
seen him.
born in St. George 2022. The aquathlon. But anyway, what did you think? Because I actually really predicted the exact times during the podcast.
What did I think of your performance?
Yeah, and it was 15th in the end.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. I thought if you had a good day, that's about where you'd be. Like but you'd need a pretty solid day, like not to blow up in any free. And I thought that was where you could do. But like, if you could have rode under 5 hours, if your back weren't playing you up, that would in the past that would have actually been a really solid ride.
Well, the
Like, it
crazy
wasn't
thing
long.
is, what I thought this time I had now. Well, you can't compare previous editions, but last edition was a quicker edition. Like the overall times were quicker, but it would have gotten me 7th place in Lanzarote.
Wow. Yeah, no, I think that was decent performance. If you can sort your back problems out and you can ride solid,
Yeah.
you could ride 450. You'd have been right in the mix.
Yeah. So that's why I chose, because of that, to not race Challenge Roth. Because first of all, I need more hours on the bike, and I need to get back into training, and I want to get a decent block
Lake
in
Placid.
and some speed work, and then do a proper performance. But take it up a level, not doing an Ironman and do the exact same. So I need to
Come to Lake Placid, mate.
Yeah, so the I've got an Xterra, the 7th of July. That's an Olympic distance. And then from the Xterra,
That's the same date as Swansea.
I know.
So you're doing the Xterra instead?
No, but you said 14th of July, Tenby.
No, it's Swansea, mate, 70.3, 7th of July. And then Lake Placid's the 14th.
The 14th? Oh, but I thought on the phone today you said 14th.
No, well, if I did, I said it wrong. It's the 7th. But you should do Lake Placid on the 14th. And if you're doing an Olympic distance the week before, that would actually be pretty good prep. So you could do the Olympic distance, fly out to Lake Placid on the Wednesday, and then you can mix it up, mate.
That's I do think Lake Placid is also coming a bit too soon because I cancelled Roth.
No, it's not coming too soon. You're the fucking Tom Houston, mate. You're made of like stern stuff. You're like tough minerals, mate. Like,
I need to put in a few more hours on the bike, but I can register, and in case I go well in training, I would sign up because if I my swim is definitely on your feet level. Well, you had the new technique tips.
I've got the new technique.
You're flipping deadly now.
So I'm going to be on the feet of someone else.
Someone told me the guys from the canoes are training now on these indoor rowing machines because they heard Jody Skipper picked it up a level.
They've heard I'm coming, mate. I'm going to be you. I'm going to be a fucking handful, mate, in Cairns. I'll tell you that now.
Hey, but samuraiman, Challenge Samuraiman. World Championships? Is it Challenge World Championships?
It was a World Championships, yeah. It was a World Championships, but it didn't feel like one. But it's actually good, the accommodation there, because everyone stays on site and it's quite a good atmosphere. I actually really like that. But for me, the race, like my swim, I started off, and I think a big problem with me is, I don't know about you, but it's almost like you don't commit enough at the start, as what you need to make a decent pack sometimes.
But what do you mean, like commit, like from the start, that you keep pushing hard and swim?
Yeah, like really push yourself hard, where you're like on the limit and the foot you're on the verge of blowing up to make the pack, and I feel like I kind of like sometimes hold back a bit too much at the start.
Yeah.
And then obviously don't end up in that good a pack or in a bad position that, like, for instance, in this race, I was on some guy's feet. He let the gap go, and then I couldn't close it. So I ended up swimming around him. But then for the remainder of the swim, I swam completely solo and got out the water 20 seconds behind that group. But I did like 1,500 meters by myself.
Yeah.
And when I noticed the gap, it was probably like 6-7 seconds. So they pulled away a little bit.
Did you also think, so when you were swimming by yourself, oh, Jody, this isn't going to be a greatest swim because you're leading it?
I know. I thought, oh, fuck's sake, like I'm going to be shit at bed now. Like so much time's gone. I
Did
thought,
you
here
did
we
you
go
look at
again.
your watch?
Here we fucking go. I'm not going to have anyone to ride with. I'm going to be chasing down. Like, God, yeah, like
That
this is great. Great decision, Joe, coming out here. You fucked it up again.
did you look at your watch? What speed you were going?
Mate, no, I wouldn't have. I would not have wanted to, but I did feel all right. Anyway, got out of the water, 3 minutes 10 down, something like that, 3:15. Which, to be honest, considering the amount of strong swimmers in there, wasn't actually that bad.
What
It
did
was
you swim? What
definitely
was your swim time?
25 something.
All right, yeah, it's not bad. It's
Um,
not bad. Definitely not
so
bad.
it wasn't that bad, but it was just the fact that it was just behind everyone. To be honest, I think if I'd have really committed at the start, well, I would have 100% been in the group ahead because I needed to be one person ahead,
Do you
like
prefer a water start or a ground start?
ground start. I'd much rather run in.
Yeah.
Or I'd prefer it if there's a boy very, very close, like you said, 50 meters. That would be ideal. That's perfect for me. When I've had my best swims, it's been with a boy really close
Yeah.
because you can,
You should be getting
in your
into
head, I
short
think
track
it's easy
then.
to break it down because then you just think, right, it's 50 meters balls out. And as long as I'm in a good position around here, I can go slow around the boy, and other people are going to be even more slower because of the Constantina effect. And
Yeah.
then once they come round you on the way to that next boy, which you said was 200 meters, you can then easily slip onto their feet because it's almost like it's a bit settled. Whereas at the start, it's like a go from nothing, isn't it? And it can put you into the red a lot easier.
Yeah.
So I would prefer a boy very close. Like that would be my ideal. But anyway, did the whole thing, 3 minutes 10 down, better than my other swims, but because I was on people's feet for them, and I actually felt like I was swimming well. Whereas this one, I did the whole thing by myself, and it was so that was better. Got onto the bike. I felt great on the bike. I felt really good, and I caught up with people that were like a minute ahead in not much time.
Hmm.
Like because there was a group 20 seconds ahead, and there was a group a minute ahead, and then after that, the next group was like 3 minutes ahead. That
On
was
the
literally all it
bike
was.
already. Like how far in?
What till I caught them?
No,
Like
this is from the swim. After the swim, they were all that much ahead.
no, yeah. After the swim, they were like that, but I caught the group that was a minute ahead of me and probably like 15k, something like
All
that,
right.
20k. Like, and then basically the front group just gradually splintered, or I say splintered. Some people got like spat out the back,
Yeah.
and managed to pick them off. The ones that did did the whole first half basically by myself, and then on the way back, Will Draper, another British pro, he did a bit of work.
Hmm.
So it was pretty much me and him on the way back doing bits, and then we kind of kept the pressure on the whole way, to be honest. I mean, the first half I did a lot harder, and then my power went down the second half because he was helping me do some work. So obviously, when someone else is doing the work, you're kind of just using them as a pace setter, aren't you? And you're not really worried about like holding certain power, are you? You know,
Hmm.
you're kind of just keeping them just ahead of you, but trying to do it as easy and smooth as you can, so you've got more effort to push the pace when you're on the front. So I kind of did that. It was meant to be 20 meters, to be honest, but I can tell you, people weren't listening to 20 meters. Like it was more like 10 meters, 12 meters, and I'd say maybe even less. That was a downside. There was like literally no officials. So there was no officials with us. There was with the front pack, and that was even worse because then they put motorbikes near the front pack, and then they get motor pace off the front, which is part of the problems, to be honest, for me on the bike. Because if you don't get a good swim, you don't get the front pack, and then the front pack gets motorbikes. I wish they'd just sort that out. That's one of my massive pet hates in races. That is the fact they put too many motorbikes in the front groups and
Yeah.
they pace people, or if they don't pace them, it keeps them together because the motorbikes in the group just create such a pull of air that people just don't get dropped, and it's fucking annoying. Like that really fucks me off. Honestly, I know I keep going on about it all the time, but I just wish the races would be fair and they just get the motorbikes out of the way because
Hmm.
it really screws you over and it doesn't really test who's the best triathlete. It basically tests who can make the front pack and then use the motorbikes to their advantage. So that's really annoying. But anyway, for us, we had like no motorbikes, so there was no pull, even though the front group had them. And then even worse, people that were suffering could then sit like 7 or 8 meters behind you if they wanted to, because there was no one to do it. I mean, I
Hmm.
could have said to the group, "Hey guys, let's just do a chain gang. Like the other group's got the motorbike, so why don't we just work together and do through and off?" And we could have done it because there was no officials. Like no one would have said anything. We could have just literally rode on each other's wheels, smashed it through and off for 40k, and we would have got away with that. But yeah, there should be some officials checking that, really, shouldn't they?
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
you
Well,
think?
if
Like
it's a world
the
championships, yeah, that is
championship race,
well, every
but
race actually.
average 46.5 kilometers an hour on the bike, which I think is really good for a legit bike
Yeah,
ride.
that's
Like
pretty
that's
good
decent
going.
speed.
Yeah, that's decent speed.
Um,
That's fast.
what's that?
I said that's fast. It's
Yeah,
decent speed.
that was like a 152 for 88 kilometers. And then on the run course for this, I recce'd it the other day, like before the race, and I was like, "Oh, 340-kilometer pace would be pretty good,"
Mm-hmm.
because it was like 80 to 85% cross country
Yeah.
on like stones and grass, loads of tight turns, like sharp right, sharp lefts, um, and a few like probably like 4 hairpin turns, or at least maybe 5 each lap, and 4 laps. So probably like 20 dead turns. So I was like 340k pace would be pretty good. Um, and I thought the fastest split would be like 330, because I thought that you're probably losing like 7 or 8 seconds a K on what you could do on a fast course.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up running 329k pace, which I was well chuffed, because we kind of kept the pace on pretty much the whole way on the bike. Like didn't really ease off. Whereas in Oceanside, I kind of like, after the group was like sat behind me for ages, getting towards the end of the run, I was like, well, I just want to have a solid run here. So last 10, 15 miles in Oceanside, I just sat on the back of the group, didn't really care, saved myself for the run because I wanted to do a good run. Whereas this one I didn't, and I started. And you know when you feel good when you start a run, like you said, your legs felt good in the
Yeah, yeah.
Lanzarote, but some days you start and your legs feel great, don't they?
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
like no
exactly.
fatigue,
Yeah.
and you feel like you're a bit springy, don't you, in your foot. I started off, I felt pretty good, but I didn't look at my watch until the first kilometer went. First K went, it was like 3:26, and I felt like I was barely
I
trying.
still find it
And
funny
I
that
was like,
you don't even look at your watch during the run, and I'm already keen after 10 minutes of swimming. What we're doing?
yeah, because I don't want to know. I just want to go by feel, because that gives me a good idea of how it's going to go. Like, whereas if I look at the watch, it's not like I want to go chasing it, starting off, do you, in the first K, because you can put yourself in a hole. But also, if you start off and the pace feels crap, mentally, it's going to demotivate you, isn't it? Because you look at it, say
Yeah.
I've looked at it and it said 350k pace. I'm going to go, oh no, like I've got 21k and I'm not even running Ironman pace. So I looked at it then, and it was like it was a very nice surprise to see that pace. And I thought, yeah, this run's going to be actually quite good. So then I end up averaging 329k pace. But annoyingly, I got a flipping penalty,
Did you?
a 30-second penalty. Yeah. Oh, some prick, mate. He said that I didn't rack the bike properly. He said I only put one brake on, and you need to rack it with 2 brakes on the thing.
Oh.
So yeah, apparently that's ITU rules. He said you should know. I was like, well, I never do ITU racing, mate. So how would I know? That's what I was thinking. But yeah, it was random. It just comes up on like a whiteboard. Like, so I was running with the guy that finished 9th in the end, and he said, "You've got a penalty." I said, "Have I? What have I got a penalty for?" Because I'm thinking, I cut part of the course out or something. Like, what have I done? Like, and he said, "I don't know. My friends just told me." He's like Slovakian. He's like, "My friends just told me you've got a penalty." And then I ran past it the next lap. So that was after 10k. I ran past it and saw my number, and then I thought, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to take this penalty." But I let him get away at that point because mentally it was quite a blow.
Yeah.
This is about 8k in, because I thought, I thought to myself, I've got a 5-minute penalty. Like, what's the point now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I just
Oh,
assumed it would
right.
be 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, it's just my luck. So then he pulled away from me because I kind of felt a bit like,
This was your bad patch.
yeah, well, yeah, because I kind of thought like, what's the point now? I've got a 5-minute penalty. Whereas I was feeling really good until that. Anyway, I saw it at 10k. Saw Tom Davis was in front of me, and I'd been closing him down. He started the run about minute 10 in front of me, and I'd got him down to about, at this point, 10k in, 20, 30 seconds, 25 seconds. So I thought, well, I'll do it with 5Ks to go, because I can use it as a bit of a break. Because at that point, after 10k, I saw that I only had a 30-second penalty.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, actually, it's only 30 seconds, right? So I'll pick it up a bit. So I picked it up a little bit, and then I pretty much got within about 5 seconds of them with 5Ks to go. I stopped in there. And I said, as I was coming up to the penalty tent, I was like, number 10, so they get the stopwatch ready, because I don't want them messing around, like, and then keep me there for longer.
What
And the
number were
marshal was there. I
you?
said, what's the penalty for? What's the penalty for? He put his fingers to his lips and he went, fuck's sake, what have I done?
What if he?
I don't even know what I've done.
What if he was wearing like a scarf and a cap, and he was like, "Shh, Joe, it's me, Tony."
Yeah. Tony told me you're creating a racket in the pool. Yeah.
You serve
But
your
no,
penalty
was Tony
now.
coming to flipping haunt me, get a 30-second penalty, but I'm thinking to myself, don't worry, Joe. A 30-second penalty with 5Ks to go is going to be fine. Like, you'll get out of here, and hopefully the rest will do you good. But I started, and I didn't feel any better. And I thought, oh, God, I was hoping I was going to get a boost. Like, I was thinking in my head, just break it up. You've done 15K on, 30-second rest, and 5K to finish.
Yeah.
Use it as a session.
Pick it up.
But I didn't
Yeah.
really feel any better. But I closed up to within like 10 seconds of Tom Davis with about 2K to go. I thought, right, he's in 11th. So it was kind of like, I wouldn't have got any prize money. 10th place, little did I know though, 10th place finished 36 seconds in front of me.
Really?
But anyway, I still wanted to catch him. So I put in a bit of an effort to try and catch him, but I didn't really feel that great. And he was like working hard to hold me off. And he got me by about 5 seconds in the end,
Oh.
something like that. Yeah, I
But
know. It
still,
would have
for
been a
you,
bit better.
like you're chuffed, right, with the result? You're happy?
Yeah, I think the performance what I did was actually really good. It's just a shame for me that the motorbikes have such an impact on the race because the position could have been a lot better. But if I look at my swim, it wasn't great. Like it was probably average. Like looking at how I've done in races this year, but like if I had been in that 24-40 group, that would have been as best
Mm-hmm.
as I could have hoped for. I was in I swam 25-40, so it was like 55 seconds behind. Bike really good, decent speed, power was good. Like I'm obviously using that different power meter, so the numbers look shit, but like I know what difference it is compared to my other power meter, so it was actually really good power for me. Um, and then the run was my best ever run in a 70.3. It was almost the same speed I did at Oceanside, but on a cross country course. Like so, that was way better.
Mm-hmm.
Warmer conditions as well, really good pace. So yeah, I'm definitely pleased with that.
What? So I've got a question. During Lanzarote, I had a moment. I was about 33K in, and into the marathon, and all of a sudden I felt like I had to go for something, but I didn't know whether it was a fart or something extra. So, but I was flipping running amazing, and I didn't want to like test. I didn't want to go to the loo and see what it was like. So I thought like while I'm running, I'm testing the water. You know,
Oh, that's
it
risky.
is flipping risky. Have you ever used this technique?
Mate, I would say that that's more risky than me ordering a seafood platter in Regensburg, Germany, which for anyone that doesn't know is completely landlocked, and I end up getting flipping food poisoning before a race.
It
I would say that's riskier than that.
it was flipping risky because I thought this can potentially ruin my finisher picks, and I might go viral if this is not a fart.
And
Um,
lose a girlfriend.
but mate, she would take anything, you know. Um, but the reward was if it's not, then you're still running and you're clocking that 3 hours, you know. So I tested the water and I thought as long as you're quick enough, if your reaction time is quick enough, you can save it even though when it's bad. You know what I mean?
How can you save it even when it's
Because if
bad
you
when you're saving
test the
what?
water and only a drop will come out and you know it's water,
What? So you were going to try and do a tiny fart, basically,
yes.
and if a little bit of fluid came out, you were going
Yes.
to basically
And
clench
I
your butt
knew
cheeks, try and hold
it
the
was a
rest, and jump in a
very,
portal.
very dodgy technique, but I was very keen to go for a good race.
Did you do it
Uh,
in sight of a portaloo then, just in
nope,
case?
no, there was nothing inside, but I was just like, I'm going all in. I'm at the casino now, and it was a flipping fart, and I laughed at myself. I was like, you lucky bastard." But that
You know, you know how you can tell if you're absolutely smashed in a triathlon or a bike race or anything, don't you?
why?
If you need a fart and you can't stand up, you can't be fucked to stand up and fart. You know, you're too smashed, so you're literally farting while sat on the seat. That is when you know
On
that
the bike.
you've hit the wall on the bike. Yeah, a wise man once told me, if you can't stand up and fart on the bike, or you're not doing it, you don't even think about it. It's not something that you're conscious about. But when you're feeling fresh, you'll stand up and you fart on the bike. When you're fucked, you haven't even got the effort to stand up and fart. You just fart sat down on the saddle.
So
That's when you know you're hitting the wall. If
what?
you do that in a triathlon, I can tell you now that that run is not going to go well.
One of the guys that I coached today told me that he did his first half in Mallorca 3 weeks back, and he told me that he had to pee on the bike, and I said it was from that moment that you became a real triathlete.
That is true. Yeah, that's like a christening, isn't it? You become a Christian when you get christened. You become a triathlete when you piss yourself on the bike.
Have you ever done that before?
What? Piss myself on the bike? Oh, I'm ashamed to even admit it, mate. I'm ashamed of myself. Like I feel like I need to hang my head in shame, like, and just be like, yeah. I have done it before, but it's not something I'm proud of. It's not one of my final moments in life. Even when I've done it in a race, I'm thinking, oh man, you've really hit fucking rock bottom now, Joe. Like, you really, out of all the things you could have done with your life, you're in the middle of nowhere. You're pissing yourself while you're on the bike. What did you do in
For
life
fun,
to
because it's
make
a
you
hobby.
take, yeah, for fun? What made you take these life choices that made you end up in this particular point?
And if
Like,
you tell
I
this
could have been a
story, so
marathon runner.
can you imagine that you're Barry, a 15-hour Ironman athlete that of course is also taking his race pretty serious, but he's telling the story on a birthday to Karen, and Karen is his niece. She'll be saying, "So Barry, you're doing 14 hours or 9 hours, whatever, over an Ironman, and you can't take 40 seconds to pee at a loo, pee at a loo." People don't understand it, Joe.
They don't understand it. That time is money.
They don't understand how important that personal best time is. How
Yeah,
they don't have what it takes.
they don't have what it takes. We're just in the
But
zone.
there is one thing that I thought about in this race as
But
well.
I wouldn't do it in training though. I've never ever
Oh
done it in
no,
training.
no, 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 never. Didn't
I know people that have.
shut up.
I do, honestly.
But is that under the rule of practice and training what you're doing in the race, or
I honestly don't know. I never really went into that much detail, but I do know people that have done it in training. I've never ever done it in training,
no,
running or biking.
no? Even if I'm in the middle of an effort, I'm stopping.
No. Yeah, 100%.
That is odd. But one other thing.
Can you do a poll on Triathlon Mockery? Like, have you ever pissed yourself conscious, like in training on the bike, like or running?
No one
Like,
is
I'd
gonna
love to
flip
know.
and click that.
Yeah, but no one
one's
knows
gonna-
who does it. No one knows, do they?
Hey everyone, it was Barry and Karen.
Yeah, no one knows who else has said yes or no, do they? Like, it's anonymous, isn't it?
Well, it's not anonymous because we can see.
Yeah, but we won't say anything.
All right. But there's one other thing that I wanted to say. So when I was 130 k's in and on the bike, and there was for me quite a bit pressure on it because I wanted to have a good result, and I thought like, you're calling yourself a pro, and maybe I'm not the best in the world, but you need to, when you're racing, act like one too. And if the performance is far from off, then you shouldn't. You don't belong there. There's just something that you kind of pressure that you put on yourself, and that you put that when that goes through you in a race, it puts you in a really bad place. And then it made me think about certain athletes who had a very bad year last year as well. For example, Gustav Iden, and he did, I think, the half distance in Mallorca. There's just a very tough place where he came from, two-time Ironman world champion, literally everything where he competed, he won, all the T100, first T100 series. And all of a sudden you get like a bad injury. I think he lost his mom, I think he's going through a very bad time. And it's just very hard to come back at the level what you were, or to come back racing at all and like what you were doing. Especially, I think he went through a bad patch in Mallorca. And then it's just very easy to think about that and think like, I'm not ready, I'm stopping. But it's very easy to judge from the side, like, oh, he's not good enough anymore. And I think another athlete who is like that is Patrick Nielsen. I think in the past he was very strong and he had some awesome results, but he just got over the last few years, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's stopping a lot. And I think at some point you build up the pressure. The pressure gets so high that it's just very hard to perform.
Yeah, totally. A lot of it is mental.
Yeah.
And I think that you don't become a bad athlete overnight, do you? But then you lose your confidence because you're on a bit of a bad streak, and then you kind of doubt yourself and you question yourself a lot. And I think you get that with a lot of people. You kind of go in like circles, don't you? Like when everything's going well, it's like anything you touch turns to gold.
Yeah.
And when it's not, everything you touch.
Yeah, and
you seem to
also,
think, like, messed up.
a lot of people have got something to say about it when you're not performing, because they're saying, oh, he's already been training for a long time, he should have a good result. But it just takes so much more than just training, at some point it's also a mindset that has been damaged, or
Yeah, totally.
and self consciousness. So you don't know. Also, to this Fruit Loop who was shouting nasty things to me on the climb. You never know what someone is going through and what's going on during a race or the period before a race, and it puts just things into a bit more perspective. But yeah, that's how I think sometimes athletes just completely disappear after they've been awesome for a long time.
Yeah, no, it is.
Although I don't think
Well,
that's going to be the case with Gustav Iden, but I do
no,
think
I think he'll
he's
come back.
currently having a bad time with regards to that. Anyway, we're going over to a bullshit buster.
Let's just bring that bullshit buster on the next one because already 54 minutes,
All right,
and
then
like we'll use that.
I've got a quick question. I am going to the Bourgogne next week to Mersol, and if anyone is from France, I don't think so because we've hardly got any people from French listening. They don't speak English.
And they don't like the English.
They, they don't like the humor. Yeah, is that a good area to train? I'm going there for a little wine trip and training, 4 days. But yeah, if let me know if you've got tips in the area. Let me know because I couldn't find much online. They don't speak English, Joe. I'm
All right.
seeing you next week.
Yeah. See you later, mate.
All right. See you, dogs. Ciao.
Bye.
1 second.